Okay, for this bit, I'm going to do two different characters in an office like water cooler thing, chatting about current events and pop culture.
Hey Jeff, did you see the latest Aussie Network Dramedy 5-bedroom?
I did, Steph, yes. I loved the new Aussie Network Dramedy 5-bedroom. I personally found it to be a breath of fresh air in the world of commercial television.
Me too, Jeff. The new Aussie Network Dramedy 5-bedroom is a homegrown drama with a good dollop of comedy that addresses some of the hot-button issues of our time without feeling preachy or overly contrived.
So these are the words of Carl Quinn, who's a senior writer at Fairfax, and he's talking about the latest Aussie Network Dramedy 5-bedrooms. It's basically 5 dunderheads who buy a house together. So first up, you got this guy, I'm going to call him Steve, who's essentially a sentient Bunnings sausage sizzle, but dressed up like Anthony Wiggle. Then you've got, let's call her Laura, who's mean, but she's not, but she is, but she's not though. And who's essentially a caricature of what men perceive to be the uptight woman. You've got, probably let's say his name's Calvin, who's neurotic but self-aware. And then you've got Ashley, who's also neurotic but self-aware. And surely there's a fifth one, whoever that is anybody's guess. You know, it's not a great show. In fact, it's so creatively bereft, they've had to steal ideas from a short film that I made 3 years ago. You got the, and then that, and then... It's the 20-somethings web series you wrote before you knew any better, but the characters are all homeowners, so they're worthy of our time somehow. In fact, most of the scenes come back to the same logistics of home ownership.
Come quick, there's a fire down at the old mill. Everyone's burning alive. Wait, don't you live in that house with the 5 people? Oh, yes, that's me. Do you guys rent? Oh, no, we do own, and yes, it's a fixed rate mortgage on that one as well. What, for all 5 of you? Oh, yes, we bought it together. What a crazy conceit. What's your repayment schedule like? Well, you know, Janine, it's a good question. I'm glad you've asked it.
And you know, fair enough. I guess that's modern drama. People talking about the minutiae of home ownership. We are all haunted by the vastness of eternity. And so we ask ourselves, will our actions echo across the centuries? Will strangers hear our names long after we are gone? And wonder who we were, how bravely we fought, and the exact financial structure of our 3.59% fixed rate mortgage from NAB. This show is the memory of an idea, a premise that's been watered down by so many stakeholders at so many levels as to be utterly meaningless, dipping its tepid toes in both drama and comedy, but doing neither with anything approaching craft or conviction. For a show that uses the lack of affordable housing as the motivation for its central premise, it has quite simply fuck all to say about how in the real world you can actually go about acquiring that very basic human need. You know, I could go on and talk about how the show is funded by the Murdoch-owned Sky Vision and how the Murdoch's political influence is one of the reasons that housing affordability isn't and won't be addressed in Australian politics, and how that filters down then to the tepid political posturing of 5 bedrooms, and then how that extends again to the fucking milquetoast be nice journalism of Carl SMH Quinn. But I'm tired. I'm tired. Don't want to do that. I just read a new report that says the world's gonna start ending in 2050. So
you deserve lush surroundings. You deserve style and confidence.
oh gee, Orange Juice Simpson.